All right, create your contract. Click that box right there. And then switch right to the listing or buy, whatever it is. Go up to the top, master seller template, put the address in. And like the reason this has to be right is this is the legal property we're selling. Like if it's not right, I don't really have a legitimate thing.
Yeah.
I've done it wrong before it stinks. Then you have to go back and have a thing with the seller and amendment.
Yeah.
So then create the parent contract and process. Boop, 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 boop. So you can just start right with your this right. Go down. The date's gonna be today's date. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's for the video.
Yeah.
So then the name needs to be cleared out, and you can go back to Boomtown and be like, well, here's their name. But what if I put a shortcut? Or what if they have a middle initial or whatever? So you can copy and paste.
List in the real list, that's going to be how their name's legally listed.
Whether it's right or wrong, maybe they messed up in property records. But no matter what,
that's the most likely to be kept.
Now, when we have a house that like someone died, it's going to be a little bit different, but just start there always because those are few and far between.
Right.
So you go on down to here, you can type in the county. You're going to pull the county. You'll see, sorry, it's right up here.
Okay.
So Adams County, even though Denver, you're almost going to always think Denver, but it's not. So you type Adams or you can do this.
Okay.
Now, one thing I do, so I get rid of that. And then, I guess I already put the address in, so it doesn't matter. This is something else. So when you're on this screen here, you have basic summary up here. Go down. And this is legal description.
Yep.
Sometimes they're really long. Have you ever done like a mountain property one?
Yeah, it was like.
And they're like this big.
Yeah, they're so long. It's like lot such and such excluded this southwest corner.
And so it's just that big. It just depends.
Yeah.
So listing period, you know, I just pick today, and then I just get rid of that little note there, and then I literally go right here for next year, and then so 29th, 28th.
Okay.
Going on down, we have other little triggers in here. Everything else is filled out. Oh, wait, other instructions. This is if there's any weird showing instructions. Like, let's say that the house has like a gate to get into the driveway. Yeah. That's where that would go.
Okay.
Generally, 99% of the time, that's going to be empty.
Okay.
But just so if in my email, I'm like, there's something about it that it would go into there.
Okay.
I've never had it. Price. I may tell you a price. I may not know it yet.
Okay.
Like I have a house right now under contract that we first met in April of 16. I didn't know what the price would be. So TBD works.
Okay.
If we know a price, I'll let you know what it is. On this one, it's $315. I always do like that with a comma and everything, and I even go 0, 0. Like I want it to look nice.
Yep. Just
leave all terms checked.
Okay.
Some houses won't go VA, won't go FHA. Few and far between.
Okay.
Earnest money. What I always do for that is I do 1% of the purchase price.
Okay.
But what I do is I round up to the nearest 100,000.
Okay.
So for this one, if I was round to the nearest 100,000, more like 1%, $4 grand.
4, yeah.
You know, so that's how I was like, I just round to the next one,
and
that's how I do it. Unless I've been given other instructions,
right?
That's what I do.
Okay.
So that's just.
And do you usually have earnest money, or I guess you don't have to clarify if it's held by title company?
It doesn't say there.
Okay.
It'll say in the actual offer.
Okay.
Hold on a second. And then if you're ever doing one, like your kid, sorry, I learned that once. Inclusions, I may have them to you, I may not.
Okay.
You know, TBD is what I usually do.
Okay.
If there's an HOA and I have the info, I'll let you know. I sometimes do, I sometimes don't.
Okay.
I need to know before we go on MLS.
Yeah.
Possession, I put TBD. That's clarified in the offer. Anyway, going on down, not a whole lot more. See, here's my additional provisions I was telling you about.
Yeah.
So I have in there the exclusive flexible commission. I have in here a few things. One, that if there's any changes to the house, like a hailstorm, the roof's now destroyed, you're going to update the seller's property disclosure for that. I also put it anytime for any reason, any party may cancel. 3 and 4, protect us in certain ways. Like I like to pre-list a house. So what I mean by that is I'll put it on Zillow as like a coming soon listing, stuff like that, and I'll start marketing the house. MLS rules, if I didn't have this in here, would stipulate that I have 3 business days to run MLS from the day of the signing of the contract. Most sellers aren't ready in 3 days. So this protects me, and I can put in when they say to do it, but I can actively market the property. Now, number 4, if later they come back and sue me and say, I would have made more money on MLS.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Right.
You know, and if I find the buyer, I'm putting my commission 2%. So
Yeah.
would it have been more? But I put in there that you understand that you may get better money, you may not.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that's it. And then what I do down here is I've already changed the name up here, but I haven't hit save yet. So as soon as you hit save, it's kind of nice. Pop the name in down here.
Oh, cool.
And then the other thing too is I want to be able to email everything to this guy. So I'm going to go into here. It's a little touchy. You go like that. And then watch this. You always do a space here. I get rid of it because I'm worried about it. It won't go. And the phone number when you copy and paste it, because there's like weird spacing in the number, that last number, it will not copy out.
Okay, so just memorize it.
Yeah, so okay, and then you go back here, and you say,
okay.
So now you hit save, and it's done. So you can close it out, and if you're like to hit save, what will remind you right there. And now you have to go through the other documents and do some more stuff. Definitions. These are very simple. What they basically say in a contract is, I can be a seller's agent, buyer's agent, transaction broker, and you can be a customer. Now, customer means that they're not represented by me.
Right.
They're usually on the other side of the transaction.
Okay.
So on this, I'll put on, you know, if we were sending this to Brian today, on 29 and 7 provided, and I just simply copy and paste the name. Now, if there's 2 sellers, I would do Brian, Cordova, and whatever. And then we're going to do electronic copy.
Okay.
Save. So now that document's ready to go. And then you go to lead-based paint sales. Lead-based paint sales, the seller's going to disclose 2 things in this. Whether they have knowledge of lead-based paint or if they have any reports of it. They never have any knowledge of it. They never have reports of it.
Okay.
I mean, it's my experience. I've never had that happen. So I just pre-check it for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I'm on the buy side, before I send it to a buyer, I sign waive the opportunity to conduct it. I've never had a buyer do it.
Yeah.
If they came back and they said, I want to do the risk assessment, then I would just change it.
Right.
But I pre-check it. So save. So now that's ready to go. When he signs, he doesn't have to check anything. Mm-hmm. And then you go down to lead-based paint obligations. This one, there's nothing to do.
Okay.
So that's nice. So you actually don't even have to click into that. Seller's property disclosure. Again, nothing for you to do on this.
Okay.
So you don't even have to click that. Source of water. Now, source of water, as you know, we have to disclose that.
Mm-hmm.
It is in the seller's property disclosure. If they don't fill that out in there, it's on page 3 or 4,
mm-hmm.
then I send them this. So
Okay.
I don't actually send this until they've messed up.
It.
And I always tell them with the seller's property disclosure, there's going to be a water section. And if you don't fill a name, address, website, phone number, I'm going to send it to you again.
Okay.
When you send it again, though, here's kind of cool stuff right here. So you can date it, today's date. It's made a part of a contract between buyer and seller dated. That's blank. We don't know when the contract's going to be yet. If it's a well, we pull a well permit number, but that's rare. I don't do a lot of well business.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say you know the water source. So you could go on Google and you can look it up, or you could say, well, it's Denver water. So if you're like, I know it's Denver water, cool, Denver public water. Oh, it's done for you. So that's kind of nice,
mm-hmm.
Or whatever. So if whatever company it is in here.
Okay.
So cool. CTM's kind of cool if they're in Aurora, whatever it is, and then you would just hit save. But again, I don't send this unless they miss it on that. Square footage disclosure. Now with this, we are never going to measure a house. So licensee has or has not measured. It's always me, has not.
Okay.
But we are going to provide information. So listing licensee is providing information. Our source, it essentially is assessor's office, but we're not going to go to the county assessor's office. So we're going to check other. I'm going to type in realist.
Oh, okay.
And then we're going to put the date that we pulled it, which will be today. And then you got square footage. So you go back to realist. Now here's a mistake you can make. You look right here, billion square feet, 816. But is that really it?
No.
Maybe, maybe not. So you go down to here, and you can see, okay, they got above ground square footage 816. They got a basement. So, and sometimes it'll have the total. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why.
No.
So if not, you pull out your handy calculator, use your brain, you figure out what it is. Sometimes though, like that 1632, it might be there. It may not. So always go down and look, and then you just type in 1632, and all they're saying is, to the best of my knowledge, is what it is. Buyer signs off saying the same thing. Okay. The nice thing is, like where all these buyer names are, when an offer comes in, CTM will auto-populate these names. We'll never type those in there.
That is nice.
So then you would say, okay, I'm going to email it. Oh, look, his email's already ready to go. How easy. Yeah. I'm not going to click that because if I do, I might actually send it. But you'd say, like, what's happening? You say, I need this, I need that. I have to send this because it's before 79. Seller's property disclosure, source of water. I'm going to skip square footage disclosure. And then you would literally go back to your template. And I mean, like I said, you're going to lose that bolded name, but it's pretty easy just to remember anyway. Yep. Maybe, hey Brian. And then the only other change that I make, I don't like e-contracts. It's fine for some things, but I'll do seller representation.
That makes sense, because that is confusing. Like an offer or something.
Or buyer representation. Like I'll type in like offer from an offer on a listing or counter or whatever that is. And then you simply check their name, all the documents. I'll just check mine so you can see what it looks like when it comes in. And if you want to like type in a name, I know there's a way. Like when Dana does it, she adds herself in. It says like transaction coordinator in there, so I can just check her when I need to. That's great. But like, let's just say I wanted Dana to be in the loop on this. She's not in there yet. I can literally just type in any email I want, and it's in there. And then you just hit email docs, and then you can see, okay, I did send it, and their email would be there. Everyone's email that you sent is there. Then if you go back and you're like, oh crud, did I send it? I don't even remember. My kid was yelling. Oh, I did. It's right here.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm not doing too much.
But I'm just saying, I do that all the time. Nice, I'll get a phone call and I'm like, oh God, did I do it?
How far did I get? Yeah.
And then you open it up, and it's nice. It's all there. The blue is e-signable. Okay. So I've had clients call me up and like, I can't sign this. And I'm like, did you hit the PDF? Right. You can't sign this without printing and whatnot. Yeah. So that's what that looks like. Okay. Great. And I'm sure you prefer